Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Neil Reviews It Classics. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to check out the Patreon, 7-inch out on Enjoy the Ride Records, and at Spotify and iTunes. In Traffic Podcast on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher and Anchor.
Neil reviews it. What is it? It's the thing that Neil reviews. Neil reviews it. That is, if he doesn't screw it up.
Today on Neil Reviews It Classics, we have the classic Dirty Work. I used to confuse it with Men at Work, which is Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. But this is Dirty Work, starring Norm MacDonald and Artie Lange and Jack Warden. It's directed by Bob Saget. I didn't know that. He of Full House fame. And of course, you guys know Norm MacDonald, comedian, very deliberate delivery. Also did a show called The Norm Show, which was also called Norm. That also starred Artie Lange. Norm also had another sitcom that was very short-lived called A Minute with Stan Hooper. And that was a phenomenal sitcom. I think only 6 episodes aired. I think 13 were shot. It was unbelievable. Fred Willard was in that. The Peterman brother, one of the Petermans from Stan Hooper is on Fear of the Walking Dead. And I don't know, he was on something before that I was like, oh, that's Peterman. Man, that show was so good. That pilot is unbelievable. If there's anywhere you can check out that pilot, it is so funny. Norm MacDonald plays a news anchor, like a Mickey Rooney kind of guy, who does a minute. His name is Stan Hooper, and he does A Minute with Stan Hooper at the end of a local news show, where he highlights the best of Americana. So he ends up moving, he wants to move to like a small Americana town so he can have a more authentic minute each week. So the first week he moves there, he meets the Peterman boys who own a diner. And one of the guys' name is Pete Peterman. And so he's going to feature them on the show. And he's like, what's more wholesome than 2 Peterman brothers owning a diner? And they're like, brothers? We're not brothers. We're a gay couple. We're a married couple. Oh, I see. Why would I take the name Pete Peterman? Well, it was hard enough being one gay guy in the town named Cockburn. I hope I'm doing it justice. It was such a fun show. That was such a phenomenal show. And that pilot was amazing. Norm Show was great too. I really enjoyed the Norm Show, a.k.a. Norm. That starred Danny Lopez, who was in Cougar Town. Who else was in that? Nikki Cox was in that. Nikki Cox from Unhappily Ever After, I think was the name of that show. That, I think, Bobcat Goldthwait show, where he played, it was kind of like Married with Children, but the husband would go downstairs and talk to an imaginary friend in a drunken stupor. And the imaginary friend was this rabbit or something played by Bobcat Goldthwait. Laurie Metcalf was in the Norm Show. Laurie Metcalf from The Connors, Roseanne. She also plays Sheldon Cooper's mother in that terrible Big Bang show, but not in Young Sheldon for some reason. I guess she realized it was garbage. Man, she's a great actress. She's really funny. She's a really great comedic actress. I like her a lot. She's very underrated, I think. And the guy who plays Max Denby in the Norm Show, he's in other stuff. But let's go back to let's get back to Dirty Work. Jack Warden plays Artie Lange's father, Trailer Howard from Monk, and Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place, that Ryan Reynolds sitcom. Artie Lange, of course, from Howard Stern. And an integral part of my life. Here's an interesting fact. I was doing a show called Casino Cinema on Spike TV, and Artie Lange was a recurring guest. We were BSing about the show, and he said, "Oh, you like doing TV?" And he said, and I quote, "Shit ends, kid." And he said if I wanted to continue working on TV, I would have to either start writing or doing stand-up. And I took it to heart. I started writing and doing stand-up. But that was important advice, and I appreciate him for that. And there's a really fun Instagram account called Artie Lange's Mugshot, which I don't know if he knows about or not, but it's someone photoshops his mugshot onto the faces of like famous things. So like, it'll be like the Mona Lisa or Snooki or some famous Kim Kardashian photo, or like Lennon and Yoko. Just Photoshop Artie's mugshot on top of it. So yeah, the movie is just about Norm MacDonald and Artie Lange, and how they're like kind of losers, and they need to come up with some money for Jack Warden's heart surgery, and so they do a revenge for hire business, and it's and they do it, and they revenge people for hire. Basically just them playing practical jokes on other people. Some really devastating, some not so devastating. Chevy Chase is in it. He plays the heart doctor. David Ketchner, I believe he is Champ in Anchorman. And he is Laney's father on the Goldbergs. Ketchner? The bad guy's famous. I don't remember. Oh, he's Shooter McGavin. I think he's Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison or whatever. We're one of those. Whatever the golf one is. So that's Happy Gilmore. That Adam Sandler movie. I give it a ceramic dragon for fun. And I will give it a skull bobblehead for story. It's not flawless. It's average, flawed, averagely flawed. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your continued support. If we're allowed out of our houses, I'll be at a comedy club. So I hope you are too. If not, watch some more of the videos. Check out my EP on Spotify. Call Sirius. Tell them you want to hear my EP on Sirius. Listen to my podcast. Listen to some other people's podcasts that I'm on. Listen to some other people's podcasts that I'm not on. Thanks so much, guys.
You refuse it. What is it? It's the thing